Hi there everybody. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to put together your 4-player upright arcade machine. Now at this point, you should already have gotten it out of the box, taken the foam wrap from both the arcade machine and the control panel. And so this is going to be picking up at this point where you're ready to start to install it. Now for this installation, you're going to need 2 tools. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, and you're also going to need an Allen key. Now for the Allen key, you're going to want 4 millimeters for metric, or it's going to be 532 in standard. Either one of these should work. But in today's video, I'm going to be using a power drill, just for convenience and for giving you guys a shorter video. So first step is that you want to remove the adhesive tape here from the wires. You don't have to remove the tape from the wires, you can keep it bundled up, but just in general, just lift it up so that way it's not adhered to this wood right here. Now, the next step is going to be removing the screws from the top of your control panel. It's going to be all stuck in one unit, and so what we want to do is remove the top so that way we have the bottom housing available. So let me go ahead and so I'm just going to go ahead and set these screws off to the side. You don't want to lose them because we're going to be putting those back on at the end once everything is connected and secured. But for now, we're just going to lift this up. As you can see, you'll see all the wires on the underside. Just going to be putting this off to the side for now. And here, you'll see we have the housing for the control panel. Now right here at the bottom towards the back of the control panel, you'll see that you're going to have this little rectangle cut out. That's going to be where you're going to feed in these cables through. And so we want to start off by doing that first. There we are. We have all connectors fed through. Now, when you first open the machine and you open up the box, you'll notice you'll have a bag hanging when it's wrapped up in foam. Now that bag is going to contain your power cord, your keys, and it's going to have 4 screws. These are going to be the Phillips head screws that we're going to be using to secure the control panel housing to the machine. Now you'll see here you're going to have 4 holes on the inside of here. You want to try to line it up and find where you're going to be screwing in the screws. It's going to have threaded metal inserts in there. So now I'm just going to grab my power drill. Now if you're using a power drill, make sure you put it at its lowest torque setting so that way you're not damaging any of the wood by over tightening anything here. Usually the lowest will be good enough to hold it tight. Okay, so that's that step done. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to grab your control panel. So here we have the control panel, and as you can see, before we put it on, we want to grab this black cable that's hanging from the trackball. This is going to be so that way you can connect the trackball to the computer on the inside. We'll get to that later, but first you just want to feed that through that little rectangle cutout on the housing. You just want to feed that down. Okay, so now what we want to do is make sure you have it oriented this way, so that way it'll be how when it's installed. And you want to just take note on these buttons on the top. You're going to have the 4th player all the way to the right, and next to it you have the 2nd player, and over here with the blue buttons you're going to have the 1st player, and you're going to have the 3rd player all the way to the left. Now I wanted to point that out so that way when we turn it over you can just sort of let it rest right there. We're going to have these bundled up wires coming out from these sections. And as I noted before, this is 4th, 2nd, 1st, and 3rd. You should have stickers already on these, but they might fall off in transit or whatever. So that's a really good way to know which bundle is which, is just by looking at the front of it and knowing which player is which. So for the 4th player, we want to locate the sticker that says 4th from the machine. And we're just going to go ahead and hook that up. There we go. And you're going to hear a click when you push these together, and that's when you know it's secured. Now the next one we're going to look for is going to be the 2nd player 1. So we're going to grab the connector from under here. And this is the 1st player. So the one right next to it will be the 2nd player right here. So let's go ahead and connect these. There we go. And now for the 1st player, it's going to be right here. There we go. That's good. That clicked. And now finally the 3rd player right here. So now that we have the 4 main players connected, we want to then do 2 more additional connections. Now this little connector piece that's coming out of the trackball, this is for the LED inside of the trackball. So this will make it so that way your trackball will light up. If you do not want your trackball to light up, you can just leave this disconnected and your trackball will still function like normal as long as we connected on the inside in our next step. But for right now, we're just going to go ahead and connect it so that way, you know, everything is working as it should. So right here, be very similar. You just want to push it in until you hear a click, just like that. And then you're going to have this lone cable with a little connector on it. This is going to be a pink little cable. Now this is going to be your free play button. This one is very important. You want to make sure you connect this to its proper connection. Otherwise you will not have the functionality of your free play button. And so you'll have to manually insert coins into the coin slot over here to actually enter your credits. And you know, we want it to be free play. So now that we have everything connected there, now we can finally put the control panel down, and you'll see it's going to have 2 cutouts on each side, and those are going to slide right into those grooves. And if you take a look over here, you'll see that you'll be able to line up the holes with the little metal inserts in there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take those 4 original screws that I took off in the beginning, and I'm going to be putting them on all 4 holes. There we go. Okay, so now we have the control panel all installed. I'm going to go ahead and flip the power on. Now it's going to be over here on the bottom corner of the machine. It's going to have a little switch next to where you plug it in. And so we're going to hit that. And you'll see right here, that's going to turn on the light on the LED ball. It's going to cycle through a couple of colors. But as that's loading up, I'll show you guys on the inside how to connect your trackball. Now, on the power cord, you should have gotten a pair of keys zip tied to them. If you don't have them on you, look on there and they should be zip tied on there. Now we're going to go ahead and open the front door. And over here, I'm going to grab a flashlight so that way I can show you guys. Right over here is going to be your computer board. And over here are going to be some USB connectors. Here's the cable that we fed through in the beginning. This is going to be for the trackball. And we want to go ahead and just connect it to any of the open USB ports here. Just like that. And while we're down here, if you look up, you'll see the volume control is right underneath the top of the door. This one's going to be your master volume. You'll see it has a blue and red light flashing. And so you can adjust this as your master volume. There's gonna be your balance, your bass, and your treble. Those should already be set up, so you don't need to mess around too much with those. But your master volume is if you wanna go ahead and lower that if it's too loud. And then over here, you just have a button to turn off the volume and turn it back on, all right? All right, so now that we have the control panel set up and everything's connected on the inside, we have the functionality of our trackball. As you can tell from the mouse moving around on the screen, our trackball is working just fine. Now, when you first turn on the machine, you're gonna see this page right here, and you might be wondering to yourself, why do I only have a total of 221 games? And I'll tell you why. That's because this is the 3 to 4 player category in the machine. This is going to be a list of games that you'll be able to play more than 2 players with, and you'll be able to use the full functionality of your 4-player control panel. Now, in order to change the categories, you're going to be using this middle button right here on the blue. Now, when you press this button, you'll see it's going to change the category on top. Now, these are all the fighting games. As you can see, we scroll by them, you'll see there are some popular fighting games. And then we press the button a couple more times and you'll see, different categories. But the one that we want to focus on right now is going to be this one right here. This is going to be your all categories. This is where you're going to find all the games sorted alphabetically in the machine. And the way you navigate it is if you hold right, you'll be able to scroll very fast. And then you can, of course, choose individually which game, and you can go back as well if you overshoot. But for now, let's test out a game so that way I can show you guys how to get out of a game as well. So let's choose Centipede over here. Now, you might notice that you have multiple versions of a game. Now, the one that I recommend you guys play is going to be the one that has artwork on it, because Centipede was originally a cocktail-styled game, and so it's going to be cut off on both sides. So you'll have the game in the middle, and it's going to be vertical, and you'll have black sides on both. So let me show you what I mean. Let me go into revision 3. And right there, you'll see there's all this space on each side. And so to get out of a game, you just want to press and hold the first player button right here. So we're going to press and hold for just like 3 seconds, and you'll see that's going to back you out of the main menu. Now down here, the artwork is going to be a little bit nicer. You go into a game by pressing the button to the left of the middle one that you were using to change categories. So that's the first one. Press that and it's going to load it up. And as you can see, you have this black space now filled up with artwork. And so this is going to give you a little bit more of an authentic arcade experience. And that's, really what we want here. Now, once we get to this screen, like I said, when we were installing the control panel, that pink wire you connected, the single wire, is going to be for your free play button. And that's going to be this white button in the middle right here. So as we press it, you'll see on screen, you're going to start getting a credits counter. And so you can press it as many times as you want. This is going to emulate dropping a coin into the coin slot on the bottom, which you can also do. Every one of our machines ship with a quarter already under the gate. So if you wanted to, you could start using this and start collecting quarters per credit as well. But if you're just using it at home and stuff like that, of course you want it to be free play. All right, so now that we have all the credits in there, we're going to go ahead and start the game. And as you can see right there, because of the Centipede, you'll be able to use your trackball as well. And so as we can see right here, the trackball is working normally, and you have everything working as it should. Give you guys a little bit of a speed run as well. But yeah, that's basically covering all of it. Now you know how to access all of your games, you know how to change the categories, and you know how to enter and exit out of a game. And as well as that, you know now that you can go into the door on the bottom and access your volume control easily right here. And that's basically all you guys need to know in order to get set up and working the day you get your arcade machine. All right, thanks for watching and have a great day.